President Trump calls to reopen Alcatraz as the White House trolls the left on Star Wars Day, and Trump sits down with another radical from the fake news media. Here's the top 5 reasons why Trump is trending today. All right, number 1 reason Trump is trending today, he calls to reopen the Rock. That's right, he says Alcatraz should be reopened and rebuilt. He puts this post up today that went viral. He put it up on Truth Social. Rebuild and open Alcatraz. For too long, America has been plagued by vicious, violent, and repeat criminal offenders, that dregs of society who will never contribute anything other than misery and suffering. When we were a more serious nation in times past, we did not hesitate to lock up the most dangerous criminals and keep them far away from anyone they could harm. He goes on to say, I am directing the Bureau of Prisons, together with the Department of Justice, FBI, and Homeland Security, to reopen a substantially enlarged and rebuilt Alcatraz to house America's most ruthless and violent offenders. He says at the bottom, the reopening of Alcatraz will serve as a symbol of law, order, and justice. We will make America great again. So obviously, a lot of times President Donald Trump compares the way that he's being investigated. He says, I've been investigated more times than Al Capone. Al Capone, notoriously famous for one of the inmates on Alcatraz. Here's one of the things I would add to this is we need to open the insane asylums again. I mean, I think along with opening these prisons that keep these dangerous criminals away from the American public, we got to get the insane asylums going again here, because we got a lot of people that belong in the nut house. All you got to do is go to any train station in New York, subway, Penn Station. You can see the amount of people that belong in a padded cell. So I agree with Trump here on opening up these a prison like Alcatraz to house our most dangerous criminals. I would add that we got to get these loony bins back, because we could stuff a lot of people in there, because we have got a lot of crazies walking around the general population out here. But I agree with Trump, and I would love to see the first inmates at the new Alcatraz to be Dr. Fauci, Hillary Clinton, and Adam Shifty Schiff. Those would be my candidates. Number 2 reason Trump is trending today, he sits down with another radical from the fake news media. He's a better man than me. I don't know why he keeps giving them the time of day. He just sat down with that Terry moron. Now he sits down with Kristen Welker, and here he goes again. Every question is undercut and undermined, and she even says, during the interview, I try to make sure every question is fair. He says, no, every question's got a negative slant. And it's true. So she presses him on whether or not he's going to run for a 3rd term in 2028, because he's been trolling the left constantly with that. They had the hats, the Trump 2028 hats, and he put that to bed and said, no, 4 more years is enough for me. He's not going to be running for a 3rd term, but man, he had them on the hook for that for a long time. She also is pressing him on whether or not he is upholding the Constitution by not giving these illegals due process. And he kept saying, I don't know. I don't know if I need to be upholding the Constitution with that. Now, Kristen Welker never bothered to worry about whether Barack Obama was giving anybody any due process, because more than 75% of the people he deported got no due process. Same thing with Bill Clinton. Same thing with George Bush. Only President Trump, they're concerned about this due process. And nobody was concerned about the country being invaded. We've been down that hill 100 times. So everything that she asks is negative and undercut. We never saw Joe Biden sit down with Sean Hannity or Jesse Waters or on the Ingram angle. We never saw Joe Biden do any of that. But Trump continues to go into the lion's den. He does it to prove a point and show you just how biased these people really are. They're not looking for truth. They're looking to try to sabotage President Donald Trump, undercut him with every question. And he sat down with this other one. She asked him too, what do you say to the people that consider you to be an authoritarian? And he's like, what a stupid question that is. They ask questions as if they have amnesia that Trump just won a few months ago, the popular vote, that he won all 7 swing states, that the American people are for President Donald Trump in an overwhelming fashion. I would have answered that question, well, those are a small fringe group of the country that believe that, okay? And they were destroyed on November 5th because the true American people stood up and said, we want President Donald Trump, and this is exactly what we are getting. So Trump sits down and hammers the fake news a little bit. Number 3 reason Trump is trending today, the White House trolls the left on Star Wars Day. This is May the 4th day. May the 4th be with you. We see a lot of those posts coming up. The White House posts a picture of President Donald Trump as a Jedi Knight holding a lightsaber. And, of course, all of the people on the left melt down, with the Star Wars fans, went crazy over this. And I put one up there, too. This was somebody else's meme. I don't know who gets the credit for this. I've seen it for quite a while on this May the 4th. But I think it makes perfect sense to follow the story of Star Wars as President Donald Trump and MAGA as the rebellion, with A New Hope, right, when we had President Donald Trump in 2016. Then you had The Empire Strikes Back when Biden got elected, and then The Return of the Jedi when Trump gets reelected after they tried to wipe him out and everything else. So it's a perfect storyline to match up with Star Wars. The left doesn't want to hear that whatsoever, but there's no question about it. You cannot watch Star Wars and not come away thinking that Trump and MAGA are the rebellion and Biden and the Democrats and Kamala represent the empire. Also, another one from the White House that had the left's panties in a bunch was they posted a picture of Trump as the Pope, and all of a sudden now the Democrats are so concerned about Catholics. The Catholics, aren't you offended by this? Aren't you offended that it's actually, as a Catholic, I was not offended by it. I was offended by when the Olympics mocked the Last Supper, and nobody on the left seemed to care about that. They thought that was a beautiful thing. I thought it was disrespectful to make a proclamation of Trans Day of Visibility on Easter Sunday. I thought that was a little bit disrespectful, yes. And of course, the left seems to have no problem with that. I was a little shocked and offended that these left-wing Catholics weren't offended that there was an abortion bus parked outside the DNC. But what do I know? So yes, no, the meme of Trump being Pope, we've had fun with that. This isn't the first time that this memes like this have come around, and the White House doing it to troll the left. And I'll tell you what, and it was playing off of what Trump said just a few days ago, saying when they asked him who he wants to be next Pope, he said, I'd like to be Pope. So they played into that. And again, as a Catholic, I find no problem with it. I found the humor in it. And if you don't like it, it's because you have Trump derangement syndrome. Number 4 reason Trump is trending today, he goes off on the movie industry. He made another rant over on Truth Social. This time he says, the movie industry in America is dying a very fast death. Other countries are offering all sorts of incentives to draw our filmmakers and studios away from the United States. Hollywood and many other areas in the United States are being devastated. This is a concerted effort by other nations, therefore a national security threat. It is, in addition to everything else, messaging and propaganda. Therefore, I'm authorizing the Department of Commerce and the United States Trade Representative to immediately begin the process of insinuating a 100% tariff on any and all movies coming into our country that are produced in foreign lands. We want movies made in America again. So President Donald Trump goes off on that. We listen, the Hollywood has put out nothing but garbage in the last probably a couple of decades here. They can't seem to make good movies. All they do right now is pretty much make Marvel movies and Disney movies, which they've all wokeified. Disney obviously put out that big bomb with Snow Woke and the 7 non-binaries that went nowhere. They lost a ton of money. We want to see great movies again. You know what? It would be nice to see a strong male father figure be the hero again in one of these movies where the man takes the center role. He takes care of his family. He knocks out the bad guy, saves the damsel in distress. Let's get back to making those movies that people really want to see. But Hollywood has gone completely woke. We know that. So not only are people not seeing the movies, other countries doing better than we are. Trump wanted to make our movies back here in America and make them great again. Number 5 reason Trump is trending today, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent put out Trump's 3-step plan for economic growth. He broke it down this way. This was in the Wall Street Journal. He wrote a piece, and it says, first, renegotiating global trade. Tariffs are an effective tool for balancing international commerce. They reduce trade barriers in other countries, opening more markets. So we know about the renegotiating the global trade deals. Second one he puts is making the 2017 Tax Cut and Job Act permanent and adopting the president's new tax priorities. No tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security, and Trump's tax reforms will improve the quality of life for Americans harmed by the reckless trade policies. So we know that this is music to workers' ears. Somebody like me, railroad guy, no tax on overtime would be beautiful. It would help so many different working class families in this country. We know that the Trump tax cuts in his first term helped out the working class, helped out the middle class, and will do so again. Number 3, deregulating the economy. America must build again, not only homes and factories, but also semiconductors, power plants, artificial intelligence, data centers, and other technologies of the future. Reawakening our industrial capacity is key to raising employment and wages among the working and middle class, and the only way to compete with China for technological and military supremacy. So there you go. Scott Bessent gives you the Trump plan, 3-step plan for economic growth. Gotta love it. If you love these breakdowns, make sure you follow the podcast so you can hear the top 5 reasons why Trump is trending each and every day.
Trump is trending, he's everywhere. From the news to the cat babies in our air.